And then down here it's recording. Okay, now I'll pull up the hardware tech terms, and I'm going to go through these 10 pages rather quickly. Most of this is very clear. We've got our source here, access point. It's how we get online. A lot of cities now are putting access points just downtown, especially in where you have a lot of pedestrian traffic. They'll just have an open Wi-Fi signal throughout town. Now, a lot of people say, what about privacy and so on? You know, if you have a Facebook site, it's kind of argue the privacy thing. It's like, I'm going to put every picture of me ever taken in the whole world and what I had for lunch yesterday and how it made me go to the bathroom the next day, and then I'm going to complain about privacy. Really? But, you know, different lecture. So Blu-ray, it holds more data. Okay, you can see 25 GB. Okay, as opposed to the old CD was 700. Well, we'll talk about video later on. The more dots per inch, the more little color pictures on the screen, the better the picture looks. But when you have more dots and you have to tell each dot to change color every hundredth of a second as Iron Man flies across the screen, that's a lot of different color changes. That's why you need all that data. And then you have all these different soundtracks. You have the voice soundtrack and the surround sound and the background and the music and everything. A huge amount of data, but it's a lot better looking image. Okay. This didn't mean a lot to me till I had a kid. So wheels on the bus do go round and round. So data's passed back and forth. Okay, certain size measured in 32-bit, 64-bit. How fast the information, the electricity, if you will, travels back and forth. Okay, it's think of the plumbing of the computer, the wire size. Okay, card reader. Smart media may be winning that battle. I don't know. It's different storage devices, different storage cards. A lot of different things coming out. Probably smart media is the leading now. It's just, you know, a lot of if you have a laptop, I think my laptop has 7 different card readers. You can plug 7 different cards in it from different cameras and so on. Charged coupled device. We'll talk more about this with video. It's how light is recorded by a video camera. Okay? And when we do videos, we'll talk more about it. But you can either have a charged coupled device that does all 3 colors, red, green, blue, for an average price camera, or you can have one that has 3 in it for each color. Much better quality. Okay? CDs, don't worry too much about that. The chip, now we've talked about the chips before in the previous lecture. The chip or the processor. Now processors have also gotten much, much smaller, right? Extremely small. Pinhead small. Smaller than that. We start talking about nanotechnology and things you can't see. And then we start thinking about Arnold Schwarzenegger movies coming alive and going, okay, well, maybe that was prophecy. But, you know, as chips become smaller and they do more. Components. Just what you would think, all the pieces. You should know RAM, you should know hard drive, you should know input, output devices, you should know keyboard, printers, mouse, monitors. Controller card. Acts to interface between the motherboard and other components. You got this thing, you got a board in the bottom of the computer on these Dells. They're sideways. There are little cards that come out, and that's where you plug into. That's the controller card. Okay. The CPU, again, we've covered that one in the last lecture. Double data rate RAM. Okay. We sped up the RAM. It actually came down to a physical size. We could only put so many of these little cards in here, so we doubled the speed up. Okay, it's all about speed. Okay, dual core. Well, if one chip's good, 2 must be better. 4 is better than that. Okay, again. As the programs got larger, as the videos got more detailed, as things get more increase in data, we need to be able to move that data that much faster.
Are things still dual core, or are they more advanced now?
Quad, you can get quads, yeah. And I'm sure you can get.
That's like back in like the dual. Like I remember it was IBM that had the dual
Yeah.
processor.
Yeah. And on any changes like that, like you do the dual core, but then some of the software packages couldn't take advantage of it. So it's like, well, then this one, it didn't help any. But then all the software builders got caught up with that. And, yeah.
So these ones right here are quad?
No, I think they're duals. Yeah. And, these are run-of-the-mill, I think, $1,100 computers. I watched the thing on news last night for the F-35 fighter, and it's airplane's not much better than the other airplanes we have now, but the computing, it's one flying supersonic computer. Who knows what's driving that thing? The number that stood out to me was to make the plane, the fighter, fly, there's 24 million lines of code. There's 24 million different lines of computer code that drives that fighter. So, who knows? Ethernet. It's a big phone line, right? It's what plugs these in. External hard drive. I hope you all have one of these sitting at home, that every week or a couple of weeks you take everything on your computer and you throw it on it. Computer will tear up. We lose a hard drive next door about every year, maybe every semester. Most of our machines have 2 or 3 hard drives, and you just go in one day and it's a machine sitting there with a big blue screen of death, crying, and it's gone. So we back up on a regular basis. Okay, so get you an external hard drive. We just bought one at home. We bought something about twice as big as my phone for a terabyte, and I don't know, it's $40 or $50, and it holds all of our pictures and all that. So you got to back everything up. If you have a thumb drive, make sure you back it up. Okay. Fiber optic cable. Why does your laptop slow down when you sit on your lap and do your homework and watch TV and talk on the phone all at the same time? We know it slows down if you have a lot of stuff open. We covered that, right? You're taxing the RAM. But if you're sitting, it's on your lap, it slows down. Why? It's heating up. Okay? Electricity goes through copper and creates what? What? No, go ahead. What? Okay. What is it? As the electricity rubs over the copper wires and circuits, what is created? As it rubs over the copper wires, what's created?
Electrical charge?
A little bit. Heat. Friction. Friction and heat. It does make some kind of a static deal. And copper is a great conductor. Gold's a good conductor. But when it heats up, the electricity travels slower. And when it travels slower, your computer slows down. Okay? It just gets hot. It doesn't travel as fast. Fiber optics sends all those zeros and ones using what? Use electricity to produce what? What goes through the fiber optic? It's glass that carries beams of light. It doesn't heat the glass up. It does, but you can't really tell it. I mean, it doesn't slow down. My niece just moved up to D.C., and one of the big things for the apartments there is fiber optic internet. They have the infrastructure for that. It screams. It appears on the screen before you type it. It's amazing. Now, it's just really fast. Okay, because it doesn't heat up. A lot of information can travel at the speed of light. So make sure you read up on that. Flash drive, thumb drive, pen drive, whatever whatever. It's the little thing you carry around with all your stuff on. And when you lose it, you come in and go, I lost my thumb drive, and I don't know, I didn't back it up. Point of housekeeping there. Student comes in and says, my presentation is tomorrow, I lost my flash drive. What should we do as an instructor? And if they say, no, then you say,
Should have backed it up.
so the class will be offered in the fall at 8:15 Tuesdays and Thursdays. Right?
Didn't say 15 to.
Because if you fail your presentation, you fail the class. But does that seem fair?
Considering what the class is, probably.
I would think so. I'm glad we all agree.
How we teach not to do that.
Well, most educational theorists say if there's no consequence, there's no true learning. So, hard drive, hardware, HDMI. It's the big plug for your HD TVs, your monitors, and so on. There's more wires, more stuff goes through it. It's simple as that. Okay. Think about it's all about plumbing. Host. When you create your own website, which you will in here, someone has to host it for you. Someone has to, you put it on a computer, call a server, a large computer. Or you can actually do it on your computer at home, but if more than 5 people visit your website at one time, it'll probably start smoking. But, so you pay somebody $6 to $20 a month to host your website. Okay? This is why Danica Patrick drives around in a race car wearing a green tight jumpsuit, right? Because GoDaddy hosts websites.
I didn't know that for the longest time too.
I know that
Like for 4 years, I thought it was like some kind of like nasty website.
Yeah. There's a big gap in their marketing that. Yeah, inkjet. We covered that. Input device, we've got that one covered. Interface. How we connect, how we interface with our different components. This used to be a real problem. When we first got a few video cameras years ago, we would take the camera, they had like 3 of them. When I first started teaching this class, we had 2 computers. I had 30 students, and they all got around over my shoulders, and I'd go, look, we can make the computer copy words. It was like, ooh, what magic is that?
Was there really just 2 computers?
There were 2 computers on each side of you right in the back of the room.
What year was that?
1890, I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But you'd plug the video camera up, and the computer would never find it. We'd spend half the class, and someone would go, I found mine. The computer actually found and talked to the camera. I mean, now you take the camera and lay it by the computer, and there's your picture, right? I mean, I took pictures of my daughter skiing this morning on the GoPro, and it'll take 5 seconds to have them on the laptop. But, back then it took 45 minutes to get the component to interface with the computer. So that's what that's all about. Laser printer we've talked about. LCDs we talked about. LEDs. Monitors that have the little LEDs. Very efficient. Okay? LEDs are bright and they're low emission. They're pretty much the opposite of a plasma, which is very hot and takes a lot of energy. Okay?
So what's the LCD or LED?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, kind of personal preference, but most things are going to LEDs now.
Both are better than plasma, right? I have no clue. I'm just really asking.
Probably for long term, because plasmas have gotten better, but the problem with plasma, these are all these little dots across your TVs or your screens. Plasma, they got it to be so bright because it actually created plasma in the little bubble, like plasma, sun plasma, okay? And you can make it red, green, or blue, or a variation, and really hot, really bright. That's why it was such a vivid picture. Because it got so bright, the first televisions, if you left something on it, like a Sony across it during a movie or something, it would burn it into the screen. So you'd always see Sony there. Now, they've gotten better, but they had other problems with it, so they just went to LCDs and then LEDs. Much more efficient. They last forever, as a plasma screen had a very short wall life. So probably. And the new TVs now are red, green, blue, plus yellow, because you get so much better colors. adding yellow instead of making yellow. Memory, the more the better. Okay, we'll talk more about that with videos and so on. But memory's good. Memory allows us to do all those multitasking. Plug and play, the opposite of what we had before. Now you plug something up, and a few seconds you get the bottom indicator box in the bottom right. Your device is ready to use. I plug this microphone up. Within a minute, recognized, ready to use. Okay? That's what plug and play means. We've talked about RAM, scanners. Scanners convert shapes and lines to zeros and ones. Okay? Now, what is OCR? That's a big one. If I just scan a letter, normally it will scan that letter as a picture, right? Or photograph or a picture, which I can read it, but I can't do what? I can't type it. I can't edit it. If I use OCR technologies, I can actually go in with a cursor and do what? Because OCR stands for character recognition. So it's recognizing characters as an A is an A. I mean, you know, if you ask my little girl what an A is, she's going to say it's two crooked lines with a line in the middle. You go, yep, that's what an A is. Okay, and that's how that scanner would realize that. It's two diagonals with a horizontal halfway down. So, shift key. Learn some hotkeys. Okay, Control Z is your favorite. You have to know. What is that?
Computer task or force quit. I'm not sure what it is.
No,
on CPU.
Control Z is
Control Z. That's a
undo. Undo. That's got to know Control Do. Control undo. Control Z is Control V, paste. Shift Tab does what? Goes back. Tab forward. Shift Tab. So you learn your favorite hotkeys. And as soon as you learn hotkeys, you'll be behind somebody doing something, and you're like, stand up. You are killing me. You know, they're going. You're like, just get up. I could have been done an hour ago. So learn some hotkeys. Control S. Here's one. Everyone say it together. Control S. That was horrible. Control S. When we do videos, these little machines in here aren't built to do videos. Okay? We're a state school. That's the best we could come up with. Okay? Go somewhere else and they'll get you a big Mac Pro or something. But, so when we do videos, we tax these machines. So you just go Control S, Control S. Because if you got all these things going on in your RAM and your video, the machine's just going to start to stop working. If you go Control S all the time, you're putting it on the hard drive and you're taking the strain off the little machine. So Control S. I've got a lot of friends working graphics and CAD work and 3D design and stuff, and on top of their monitors in big letters, save, save, save. Because they're doing multi-views and three-dimensional images, and they have incredible computers, and they just melt down sometimes. So it's save, save, save. Yes, sir?
When you do the control save, do you have to like preset it to where you want it to be saved? Like, say example, do you like save it the normal way, like pressing file and save as, and then choose your destination, and that way every time you press Control S, like it
I don't know how to do save it correct.
automatically saves?
If you hit Control S and you haven't saved it, it's going to pull up
Save as.
Save As. Save As allows me to do three things. What does Save As allow me to do? What three things?
Organize where you're saving it. We'll save it, and then where you want to save it. So like
Where, and the second one is I pick a location, I name it, I have a file name, and the third one is down at the bottom, file type. So location, name, and file type, save as. Save just saves it. Which means save, you've already determined location, name, and file type. USB. It's a way of connecting to the different devices. We used to put on here FireWire, which is a Mac product, which we still use some, but USBs now are faster. And you can see 127 things can be daisy chained together with FireWire with USBs. If you have 127 computer toys at home, you've never been out in sunlight. Okay, you got to get out some. Okay, if you have that many things to your computer. Webcam, yeah, they're everywhere, and we do know now that they can be turned on remotely. So for the guys at the NSA, this is completely uninteresting and harmless. But so not want to throw a towel over your laptop certain times, or webcams can be turned on remotely. So hey, that's it. That's it for hardware tech terms.
This is somewhat like a little bit related. What about